Hey man, today is the third fucking episode of the Day Winners Music
Yes, sir.
Podcast, and we got a Miami legend. I say Miami legend, but he a worldwide legend pretty soon, bro. Like just the way you're working right now with your brand, everything that you're doing, bro. Like I'm in Miami Beach. I see people walking your brand, like working your hat. I'm like, yo, what's going on over here? So the fact that I think music work hand in hand with clothing and art, I just think that artists just need a merch line or a clothing brand just to represent their name and represent their brand out there. So we got one of the best person in the building to talk about this right now. Is that boy Danje in the building? Let's
Yes,
get
sir.
it.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
bro,
What's good, y'all
just
boys?
hey, just I'm more hyped than ever right now. I just want you to just give the people just a quick backstory about you, like who you are, where you from, and everything like that.
All right, cool. So as he said, my name Danje, and I was originally born in France. So I'm born in France. My parents are Haitian. Basically, like I'm from Haitian heritage. So
Yeah.
majority of my family is Haitian, but me and my siblings were raised in France. And then in
Mm-hmm.
2007, we moved to the US, and then we moved to like Miami Gardens for like a good year. Like I went to Norland Elementary and all that. And
Okay.
then we moved to NM, North Miami, and then we've been here ever since.
Yeah.
So we lived on the east side. So I would say like that's kind of maybe part of the reason why like I'm so well respected in my area because like I basically grew up in different places. So like I grew up on the east side of North Miami
Mm-hmm.
and I grew up on the west side type shit.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
seen both sides. You know what it is
Yeah,
about.
you feel me? I didn't been around both sides. I basically grew up with people on both sides, you know what I'm saying? So
That's
I
what's
kind of
up.
got my foot in different places from an early stage.
That's what's up. So one thing that's always intrigued me about you was your name. Like, what was the reason your name is Stay Danje or Danje?
Well, shit, I don't even really remember exactly how like Dungeon came about, but as long as I can remember, it was just some my brother started saying, and then I was just saying it so much, but then it just like when I started my brand was always based off like it was always one of a kind, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when I went to one of a kind, I needed a logo or like a symbol to represent the brand, so I thought of the skull. So when I got the
Mm,
skull, it was like, okay, I started off with the skull, and that's before I even named myself State Dungeon. So I got the skull, and like it just so happened that my brother started saying Dungeon,
mm-hmm.
and Dungeon is just the word dangerous, but in Creole.
In
So
Creole, yeah.
yeah, so when he said that, it kind of clicked. I'm like, damn. When you look up the symbol for dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
or like if somebody's telling you to keep out, like when you see on the road sign and it says dangerous, usually what you're gonna see a skull, right?
Yeah.
So like that's how like that kind of came together. And then I just first I called myself the Dungeon Boy, but you know what I'm saying, after a certain amount of time, I'm like, I'm not a boy anymore. So I just
Mm,
went by Dungeon straight. But yeah, that's how the name came about.
that's
You
how
know what I'm
the
saying? It
name.
was something I was saying for a while. Me and my brothers was saying for a while, and then it kind of just stuck with me type shit.
I feel you on that. And what about one of a kind? Because my brother put me onto you. I mean, multiple people put me onto you, but one person that I always talk about you a lot is my brother. And one of a kind just stood out. Why was the reason like one of a kind means something to you?
Well, one of a kind. Well, basically, I wanted to start. I would say I wanted to start a clothing brand. So I'll say probably about like middle school, honestly. But you know, like when you're in middle school, you're not really exactly sure what you want to do with your life for real. So like I had told my older sister, she's like 10 years older than me. I told her I was like, I want to start a clothing brand. And she was like that's something that I've always remembered. She told me, she was like, if you're gonna start a clothing brand, you're gonna have to find a reason for you to set yourself apart. Like there has to be a reason like why people should stop shopping with Nike, stop shopping with Supreme, stop shopping with Vlone, or whatever the case may be, and they come shop with you. So like ever since she told me that, like at first I had started a few other clothing lines that didn't work, but I always knew like if I'm gonna make clothes or if I'm gonna make anything, it has to stand out and it has to be different. So like when I was looking for a name, I'm like, okay, I'm looking for like a name that's gonna be unique. Like that was my key word, unique. So I was trying to find a word that was gonna a name that was gonna
Mm,
represent that. So I found so many different things. Like I literally sat there and I wrote down like everything that I was thinking about, all the names I was thinking about, and then I was like, I seen one of a kind, and I'm like, that's kind of like simple, but it still makes sense. Like
Yeah.
one of
And
a
your
kind,
sister told
simple,
you
but
about being unique. So one of a kind, what's more one
you know what
of
I'm
a
saying?
kind than what's more unique than one of a kind?
Exactly. So once I came up with that, I just started, you know what I'm saying, coming up with ideas for a logo. I started looking around, and then again, like all of it, it's like it's kind of like everything was like meant to be, kind of, because even when it came to the logo, like if you see the circle logo,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's based off of the anarchy logo, which is like A, and then it has like a circle around it. And
Mm,
anarchy means basically like without government type shit, like people that live free and shit. So and I'm big on that. And again, it's like again, like to be governed, it's like you're basically like you have somebody telling you what to do. And
you're a
that's exactly
slave.
what I'm not on. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. You're a slave to your trade, you're a slave to whatever it is that you're doing. So when I made the logo, I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. And it all just came together.
Wow.
So stay dungeon is not only like what I call myself, because I don't really want to be out here telling people what my name is and stuff, but
Mm,
it's not only what I call myself, but it's also like our slogan, like it's stay dungeon, like stay dangerous, like never stay in the safe zone. Don't try to ever be comfortable. Like always do something that's gonna make you stand out type shit.
wow. So is that what stay dungeon mean?
Yeah,
What?
that's basically what stay
So
dungeon
what's your
means.
meaning of stay dungeon? Can you repeat that again, bro? Like that's so crazy. The fact
Okay,
that you just
so
explained that.
yeah,
I
so
never
stay
thought about
dungeon
that. I
basically
always thought
means
about like guns when I thought of stay dungeon.
nah, not even. Like some people might see it that way, which it's like I say this much. Like, for example, it's like certain say like they have certain phrases, right? Like, for example, in Miami, if you say what you on, like it has my bad. But in
Bless
Miami,
you,
right, you
bro.
say what you on, right? If you say what you on has different meanings.
For sure.
What you on could be like fighting words,
Yeah.
or it could be like what you trying to do, like you trying to go out or something
Yeah.
type stuff, or like what you on could be you're saying something crazy, like whatever the case may be. So it's the same thing with stay dungeon. So if I leave home and I tell my brother stay dungeon, that means you know what I'm saying. Not that don't mean like shoot anybody, but be aware of your surroundings, be safe, stay true to yourself, be careful
Yeah.
type stuff. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean don't be safe, but it means stay dangerous. Like you know what I'm saying? Make sure you on point type stuff. So it,
Right.
it means that. And it also means like again, like stay dangerous, meaning don't be comfortable. Don't be comfortable in what you're doing. Don't like always don't always take the safe route, because the safe route is the easiest route. Like the best things in life are the hardest things to come by. So not live by that. So like
Wow.
stay dangerous, meaning like take risks, do things that people don't do, and for sure like the things that I'm doing, nobody in my community has done.
Bro,
So like
you one of the goats, and I want to get more into
appreciate
that
that, bro.
later on. Like, just talk about like how did you even get your? But let me let you finish first, bro. Keep going. Go ahead.
But so stay dungeon. I mean, honestly, it means whatever you want it to mean, as long as if it means something positive, it's something affirming. Like as long as it's pushing you to be your best person, you know what I'm saying? Stay dungeon. Like I tell people stay dungeon on their birthday. I tell people stay dungeon when I'm leaving somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like people sometimes they'll laugh at it, but it's an actual phrase. It's like me telling you have a good day, or
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is,
you know what I'm
bro.
saying?
Now that you explained this, it make even more sense. I thought that part that you said about it, though, the being creative, not staying comfortable. I thought about that too, but I never really thought about it to the level that you just explained it, like how
Yeah,
you can't not be comfortable. And this is why my brain is about too. Like you gotta do something that's gonna make you win. That's gonna make you put you in the right position. You get what I'm saying?
exactly.
Okay, so now
Exactly.
let's get into your brand. I got some questions, so I wrote down something. So let me
Go
not
ahead,
just jump
shoot, Brody.
ahead of myself. Um, so what made you want to start a clothing brand? Not be a rapper, not be a doctor, or why inspire you to be a clothing designer?
Okay, so that goes back to like my family moving to the US, right? Like I'm not sure if are you if you're if I feel like you're not born in America. So like
I
I
wasn't.
know exactly. So
I was
like
born in
you
Haiti.
already know how that exactly. You already know how that is. You know what I'm saying is it's low key the same thing for me moving from France to America. It's like you move to a country expecting, oh, you're gonna have all these opportunities, but no, it's not exactly like that because you know what I'm
Facts,
saying, you gotta get your citizenship, you gotta get your visa, you gotta go to school, you gotta learn a whole new language, you gotta
facts.
get accustomed to a whole type of new environment type stuff. So like all that came about when we moved, and it's like my parents didn't have the money to buy me Jordans. They didn't have the money to buy me Nikes. They didn't have the money to buy me anything. You know what I'm saying? So not to
Wow.
say like I wasn't taken care of. Like I say for sure, like my parents always made sure I had a roof over my head and everything. But as far as like the stuff I wanted, not the stuff I needed. They made sure I had everything I needed. But the stuff I wanted, I couldn't
Yeah.
get. So like it
Get
came
you.
to a point where it's like I was like at first it had to do with shoes, right? So it's like okay, clothes were easy to come by, but like because you was just going to school, like you're young. Where else are you going? You're not really going out. You don't need outfits
Nah, you
like that.
got
You really just need
uniforms.
shoes. You know what I'm saying? You just need shoes, right?
Yeah.
So like I would get like one or two pairs of shoes a year.
Mhm.
And I was like, nah, that's not cutting it. So I think it was like either entering middle school or high school. No, I say entering high school. I was like, I started teaching myself how to customize shoes, and that's what I was known for. I was known for
Wow.
before the clothing and anything. I was known for customizing shoes, painting, and drawing. So because me and my brother since what for as long as I've known my brother and for as long as I can remember, we've been artists. And when I say artists, like we know how to paint, we know how to draw.
Yeah.
Like we've been creative since children. That's why like you see we're very well known as creatives in North
Yeah.
Miami when that kind of stuff never really happens. Like you don't
Nah.
really know that many creatives that
Creative.
okay he's from North Miami type stuff. We know
Facts.
rappers, we know everybody else but creatives. So yeah, so it became to a point where I was like, all right, you know what? Like, since I can't get new shoes, I started seeing like what can I do to my shoes to make them look different. So that's where like customizing shoes came in. I started customizing shoes. I was doing Air Forces, you know what I'm saying? I was doing stuff to make sure like I stood out and like I made sure I look clean because you know what I'm saying. As a Haitian, you already know, bro. Your parents want you to look fresh, bro.
Of course,
No
all the
matter,
time.
you know what I'm saying. You know, when you a kid, they gonna think you trying to dress like a vagabond. But at the end of the day, like you always gotta look fresh. You always gotta make sure your shirt on. You know, you gotta make sure you wear your belt and all that. So I always had to make sure like looking fresh was always like a thing for me. So
Facts.
after I got more into customizing shoes, I started doing denim. So I started getting like jean jackets and stuff. Well, you remember like in high school and middle school, jean jackets was the thing. So like
Facts.
I
Cause
started painting those. I actually got like the very first jean jacket I ever painted. Like I still have it to this
yeah.
day. It's like 7 years old. So I started doing that, and then when I got into that, it was just like it kind of one thing led to another. So when I got to high school, I started learning graphic design. Like I had classes for that. That's what I went to school
Mhm.
for. So I learned graphic design, and I learned also entrepreneurship. So because like at Turner Tech, they have different programs where you can like basically choose a career path, and then you have classes specifically for that career path. So mine was, you'll say, information technology, which is graphic design, computer technology and stuff like that, programming, coding, and also entrepreneurship, which is like businesses and stuff. So like I could say like everything I learned in high school, I've been able to apply in a real life
Wow.
situation. So when I got to high school, I started a few clothing brands. I started one called Trap. That was like my sophomore year. And then I had another one called Essential Styles. That was my junior year. But like none of it stuck. Like I wasn't really passionate about any of it. Then summer before my senior year, I gave it a try again, and that's when I came up with one of a kind of stuff. Like first day of school, I had a whole one of a kind outfit and everything type
Oh.
stuff. So like that was the real start of me starting
And
my brand right there.
being in high school and the first day wearing your own clothing brand, your own design. This is crazy. How did
Yeah.
people react to you?
Well, I mean, I feel like like I could say like I was kind of popular again, being like like I feel like I don't want to say I grew up like I wouldn't say I grew up in the hood because again my parents always made sure I was okay, but I grew up around a certain environment, right? You grew up around a certain environment where people are expected to do either certain things. So you're expected to either go to college, get a 9 to 5, or the illegal side where it's scamming, trapping, robbing, right?
Facts.
I didn't fit not one of those criteria. Like none of them. I didn't want to do the scamming and trapping. I didn't want to go to school, and I damn sure didn't want a 9 to 5. So like I feel like people always got that kind of vibe from me, like from a young age. Like I was in school and I was passing, but I was just passing. Like I wasn't in school to like really learn, except for the classes that focused on my career path. I didn't care about school like that. So like I feel like people kind of already knew that. And again, like I've been creative. Like I done did a whole bunch of stuff at my school since freshman year. So like when people seen that, they was like, yeah, I feel like they was kind of like already expecting or like not too much surprised, but I did get like a good reaction. Like, okay, like I like this type stuff.
How would you describe your style?
Honestly, bro, I say my style is North Miami. I'll say that much. Like North Miami, Miami for sure. Like I definitely throw like I feel like again, like because I'm such a different individual, like I'm French, but I'm Haitian. Like
This is so
I'm
unique. I really
you feel
haven't
me?
met a lot of Haitians that was born in France but got to speak Creole and also got to come to Miami and enjoy that North Miami
And
lifestyle.
what's the crazy part? I learned to speak Creole in Miami. I didn't speak Creole until I moved to Miami. You know what I'm saying? I knew how to speak only French. Like so, like damn, I don't remember where I was going, but yeah, like all of that just brings it
Your
together
style. You
kind
was
of.
talking about your
Yeah,
style.
oh yeah, you asked me about my style. So yeah, so like I have that like North Miami style, but I also feel like again that little the Haitian and French part of me like makes me like I like to look clean as well. So like it's streetwear, but it's like it's not like streetwear where it's like everything looks too vintage or it's like everything looks too like thrifty. I like to be clean, but I also like to look kind of look hood and like that's where like one of my biggest sellers is my hoodies because we're from Miami, bro. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees outside, you're gonna
You
find
were
somebody in
hoodie.
Miami wearing a hoodie. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like just that or like wearing like for example like these, right? People call these beanies. I made sure like when I started dropping them, I called them Scullies because
Mm,
all my life in North Miami, that's what they call them. They call them
of course.
Scullies. And then
Scully's.
it's like again, it's like I feel like everything is like full circle and meant to be because I call them Scullies and look what they got on them. They got skulls on them. So it's
Yeah.
like all of that is like coming together. So when
Bars.
you ask me about my street style, when you ask me about my street style, like it's I mean my style, it's like I don't know, bro. It's like a little bit of everything, honestly. Like I try to switch it up every now and then. Like sometimes I wear like dress clothes and I'll see how I could incorporate my brand into wearing dress clothes. Like sometimes I might do some Y2K vibes, sometimes I do some 2005. Like I just like to try different stuff, but like I say my style is literally one of a kind because that is in fact what it is.
I got you. Um, Next question, bro. What what do you feel like sets you apart from other clothing brands?
I would say my knowledge, my experience, my attention to detail, um, my creative process, because like you see like the brand name is one of a kind, but you see like a lot of the stuff that I drop, it says one of a kind design studio. And I say that for a reason because like there's nobody I know that can design something today and put it on a piece today. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't. I've never like I'm the kind of person sometimes like you tell me we going out, I'll make a hoodie or I'll make a shirt or I'll make a piece right before I'm ready to go out, just so I can make sure I look fresh. So I feel like just that skill alone sets me apart. Like I don't everything comes off the don't like I get inspiration from a lot of people, but like again, like I always try to make sure it's me that I'm always emulating my energies and no one else is not. Like people like to compare me to Virgil or ASAP Bari and stuff. And it's like that's cool, but at the end of the day, I'm me. Like, no offense, but them niggas can't do what I could do because I'm 23 now. Them boys, when they got to their peak, they were, you know what I'm saying, they were way older.
Yeah,
So I have them to learn from, and I have all the experience that I have to be ahead of everybody. So
for sure.
I feel like that would set me apart for sure.
But hey, man. So how do you when you coming up with a new design? How do you what's your like your creative process like?
I mean, I don't. Okay, I do have a creative process. Really, I just really just play around with stuff. Like I like to like, for example, I have a certain set of fonts that I know I will use. Well, I don't always use them, but I use them often. So, like for example, like the regular wording that you see that says "One of a Kind Design Studio," like that font, I usually use a lot. Like I use a lot. I like to basically instead of trying to use the same fonts that everybody's using and all the fonts that are viral, because believe it or not, there are certain fonts that people use to make their brand viral because people are familiar with it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's why it takes. That's why a lot of brands you might see them blow faster, like there's a lot of brands that have blown faster than me, but that's because they stuck to trends and stuff. Like I don't want to be a trend because at the end of the day, like you might blow up today and make 50K, but how long is that gonna last for you? You know
sure.
what I'm saying? There's no originality in your design. So like me, I try to be as original as I can. So I'll use basic designs and I mean basic fonts, and then I'll just play around with them. Or I'll like since my thing is skulls, and that's like my kind of like my symbol. Like I'll look at a few skulls, or I'll find pictures of some skulls and I'll start playing around with them. Start throwing in the words. Play with text effects, like put in like one of a kind or one of a kind design studio or state dungeon, anything like that. And really, bro, it's literally just me playing around with designs until I'm feeling it and I'm like, okay, this is the one type stuff. Like sometimes I'll sit on the computer for hours on hours and I'm not coming up with nothing for it, but I'm just designing stuff. And if I post it, I know people are gonna think it's fake, but to me, it's not. So my design process is really just playing around until I come up with something that I believe is worthy of going on a garment
Wow,
type
bro.
stuff. So
It seems like you're really passionate and you really into clothing. Like it seems like
for
that's
sure,
your thing. That's where you're gonna be at for the next 20 years type shit.
type shit.
Where do you see
So I mean,
yourself in the next 5, 10 years?
5 to 10 years, I'll say like I feel like I'm still in my artist phase, right? So like I'm not, I still haven't like I've been in this game for like 5 years now, but like I'm still just a newbie type stuff. So like right now I'm still in my designer stages where I'm learning how to become a functional and organized designer. So I feel like in the next 5 to 10 years, I'm gonna learn the business a lot more. Like I feel like I got the creative stuff down, but now I have to learn like the business part of it, knowing how to market yourself, knowing how to budget yourself, knowing how to allocate money to the right places. And not only in clothing, but I just want to be a businessman in general. Like I feel like that's always been my dream. Like just having different ways of making money and being able to do that for all my people. Like that's really what I'm on this year.
I got you.
Like I love the creative process, but it's like I want to stop being so hands on with clothes. Like when I say hands on, it's not like I want to take a break from clothes. It's more of like I want to make it easier for myself. Like I don't want to have to sit for hours and make pieces when I can just design them with every specification that I need and have them made. And that way I can focus on marketing the business and getting it to the right people and getting the right people to see it.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. So right now, like I'm transitioning from like made to order pieces to manufactured pieces, meaning like it's not gonna be like, oh, you're gonna hit me up and be like, yo, I want this and this color and I make it for you. Everything's gonna be available when you want it, type stuff. I'm gonna have specific colors gonna be available where you want it. I still want to have a custom service, but I just want to figure out how I'm gonna do that type stuff. So
Yeah.
to the next 5, 10 years, we're definitely gonna expand. We're definitely gonna see a lot more content from the brand. Um, yeah. So that's really it right there.
I got you, bro. Hey man, it seems like you got a bright future. You already there. I'm not saying you there. I don't know what your goal is because I know being there mean what does it mean to you. Everybody can
Like,
think you there, but if you don't think you there, bro, it don't even matter. So since we're a music podcast, right? How do you feel like music influenced like your music, your design and stuff?
it does a lot because I feel like without music, I would be lost. Like literally, like I feel like music keeps me at peace. It keeps my creative flowing. It keeps me hustling. Like one thing about rap music, I feel like rap music, it gives me that push to keep going.
Mm,
Like so, because me, like when I listen to music, I don't just pay attention to like the beats or how it sounds. Like I listen to the lyrics. So
mm.
if you listen to rappers, like it's a lot of hustler music. I really
Yeah.
like hustler music. Like music that tells me, yo, get your ass up and go make 10 bands today and stuff like that. Or when niggas be like, yo, I made 10 bands off of so and so, or whatever the case may be, like stuff like that influences me to keep working harder. And then
Uh,
it's like again, like music is also like you said, music and fashion are always gonna be one and one together. So it's like a lot of the fashions, like a lot of the music is the music you listen to basically is gonna be able to show like the kind of style you have. Like again, so like me, that's why I'm so versatile because like I don't have like okay, I would say my favorite genre is if I'm being honest, my favorite genre is R&B. But
mm,
I listen to like Caribbean music. I listen to Spanish music. I listen to like what's that shit called? House music, like the stuff that they play in the clubs. I
yeah,
listen to rap. I listen to soul. Like I listen to
I
everything literally.
got
So
you.
that alone allows me to like okay, like I know that I'm not in this one space and I have to do this one thing. Like I can always expand my horizon. And then it's like for me, music is like because music and fashion go together so much. It's like I I feel like me, I've been doing my best to like work with artists that are local. So like not only well, I would say at first it was local to like my areas, but now I've expanded well enough. Like, but like yeah, like I'm trying to get certain musicians and get certain people to see like okay, you feel me, it's cool to have money, it's cool to have diamonds, but you also have to focus on like your representation and how people see you. It has that not only has to do with like fashion, but like yeah, it's fashion, but just like even as far as like music videos, like I feel like there's people need to know where to put their money. So like a lot of people don't invest in stylists. That's why sometimes, like, I ain't gonna lie, me personally, I'm not judgmental. Like, I will talk shit about people, but I do make mental notes of the stuff that I see. So, like, I'll see a music video, I'll be like, okay, you could tell like what kind of budget that person put through towards their music video.
Facts.
You could tell if they spent more money on their outfit than they did the music video, or they spent more money on the car than they did
Mm-hmm.
their outfit and stuff like that. So if you don't have a balance, you're gonna look kind of crazy type
I
stuff. So
got
like
you.
I feel like that's where I can come in for a lot of local talent. Like I want to be like a stylist. I want to be that go-to person. Like, okay, I'm finished to shoot a music video today. Yo, let me call Danje and have him pull up with some pieces so he could style me and make me look good for this music video. All I gotta do is send him the
For
song
sure.
and he gonna know what kind of vibe it's on type stuff. But that's really like I feel like and also like it's like a help me help you situation, right? He's wearing my stuff and promoting it. That way I'm able to get to his
His
fan
audience.
base and then I'll be styling him and I'll be posting him or like I'll be able to promote him to my fan base. Or like if he's wearing my stuff in his music video, I'm automatically gonna repost it and
Of
share
course.
it. And I'm not gonna lie, like I don't want to call it like I be making this joke sometimes. I like to say like the dungeon effect type shit, but like
Mhm.
I honestly feel like there has not been one person that's worn my stuff in a music video and the music was bad. Like I feel like no, I could honestly say like everybody that I fuck with, all the artists that I fuck with locally or not locally, like if they wearing my stuff, like I've never
They look,
heard a bad song from them
of
type stuff.
course. When you wear that Danje, the song go
Yeah,
up.
bro. Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get it. So Man, I got a lot of questions for you, bro. I just love how this is going, bro. You got a lot of game, bro. You got a lot of game
Appreciate that.
for sure. Um, you know what I was thinking? Let me go off script for a little bit. How did you get your brand so much out there to people? Like, how did
Wearing
you
it
get
every day.
you wearing
Literally.
it?
Like there was this one day, bro. Like I say 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I told myself I was like, I'm wearing this shit
Wow.
every day, no matter what. It don't matter if it's a hat, it don't matter if it's a shirt, it don't matter if it's socks, it don't matter if it's a whole fit. But I made a promise to myself to wear my brand every day, and worn, I have not worn my brand since I made that promise to myself. So every day I was wearing it. It don't matter what it was. Like it don't matter if I'm going to church. It don't matter if I'm going to a birthday party. It don't matter where I'm going. I go to the gym in my clothes, bro. Literally. So I wear my stuff every day, and it's like I feel like I have so much confidence in myself wearing my like people like the energy was emulated that I had confidence in myself. So like I feel like people got drawn to that. Like he feel good in them clothes that he wearing type shit. So like I feel like that's what kind of drew people to me. But really it's just being consistent. Like again, that's why I kind of like added the whole design studio because I really noticed that I was designing and putting stuff out, if not every other day, every week. Like I'm literally I don't know if you've seen the shirts that I have posted. Well, this shirt right here,
Yeah,
actually.
I've seen
I
that.
made this shirt yesterday.
Wow,
I literally made this shirt yesterday. And I designed it a few days ago. So it's
man.
like exactly. So I feel like that, and then just again like the word to mouth, because I feel like before even the clothing, I was already known for my creativity. I was known for the graphic design. I was known for the painting. I was known for the customization. So it's like I feel like all of that just followed up, and then it's like they already have something to believe in because they didn't see
Yeah.
my work before. So it's like now it's like if you not support it, what are you doing? Because it's like why would you not support this? Like
Yeah.
it would be hard not to type stuff.
Nah, bro.
So
Like your brand is really unique. Like that's the one thing I get from it. Like, and I can see why when you wear it, you just gonna feel like, yo, man, I'm him. Like you
type
one of
shit.
a kind. You him. Like so, I get how the wording and just like the branding behind the way you put it, it just it make it really really good, really good. And I like the stay
Appreciate that,
Danje
my
part
bro.
because one thing I learned throughout my journey is you gotta stay dangerous. You gotta be aware. You gotta know what's going on. You
Tell you
cannot stay comfortable and you gotta like get out
exactly.
there stuff. I got you, bro, for sure. So for example, right? The my goal of the podcast was that I can help artists with designing a clothing brand or designing a merch line. What's the reason you feel like an artist would need a merch line or a clothing brand or something like that?
Um, I mean, a clothing brand. Okay, I'll say this, but for one, like a clothing brand and a merch line are two different things, right? So like me, at one point, I didn't like people calling my stuff merch. Like now it's like okay, like some people don't you realize that some people don't know the difference and you don't mean it with a bad intention. So it's like
For sure.
there's no reason to get mad. But like there is a difference between merch and what you call and a clothing brand, like in a fashion line type stuff. Just like
Yeah.
there's a difference between just a brand and a fashion house. Like a brand is not making the same stuff a fashion house. So you're not gonna see stuff like a lot of the stuff that you see for like Louis Vuitton and like all these big brands, a lot of those stuff are pieces, one of ones, like exclusive pieces.
Yeah.
They're not showing you what they're like. They're not putting t-shirts up on a fashion show type stuff. So it's like yeah, bro. Damn, I keep forgetting what the question was. My bad. What you
um,
asked me?
having a
Oh,
clothing
the
line for
merch line.
art,
Yeah.
yeah, a clothing
So
line
so
or
so yeah. So
a
like
merch for artists.
so I feel like for that it's like for one, I feel like if you were to have merch, right, you would already have to have like a certain fan base. Like you gotta know that there's people out here supporting you because you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
put money to it or something and it's just sitting there. Like it's cool for you to have inventory, but as far as like a merch line, you really want people that support you to have that shit. So like every time they work, they tag you, they post it, they put somebody else onto your shit. So like I wouldn't say every artist needs it, but like if you have a big following, like that's why you see like NBA YoungBoy, they don't even have a merch. He doesn't even have a merch line anymore. He has a whole clothing brand, but it started off as merch.
As a merch
Same
line.
thing with same thing with Sniper Gang.
Sniper gang,
Sniper
yeah.
Gang used to be merch. Now it's a whole entire clothing line. So it's like it's one of those things that first of all you have to build an audience for yourself because again you don't want to sit on inventory, but also you gotta think about it, the longevity of it. Like, is this like do you think people are gonna ride with you type shit? Like, because that's really what's selling merch is. That's why when you see them big artists have concerts, why do you think they merch sell out? Because people want to remember and they want to stamp, okay, I supported him at that point, or I was there at that event type stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
like, so like there's like if you're still building, I wouldn't say there's no necessarily like a need for merch. Like, Grant, I'm not saying you don't have to get merch, but
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that there's a need for it if you're still building. But like if you've built enough of a following,
Yeah.
you should get merch. Or like if you roll with a group of people, you should definitely get merch because like it's cool. Like you feel me, mix the merch with the designer. Like it's cool when everybody got a full outfit on, but it's like again, if you rolling with a group of people, you're moving as a unit. You get what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
if there's a star, there's supposed to be everybody behind there supporting the star. So while the star
Exactly.
got all the full shit on, everybody else still gotta have their full shit on, but you're supposed to have something like a hat or a beanie or a jacket
Yeah.
or sweatpants or something that's
That
representing the
represent the
brand
brand.
that you're there for. Exactly.
Facts.
So like, yeah, some people should have merch, but you know what I'm saying? It just depending on like where you're at in your career, how far you want to go with it type shit.
So basically what I got from you is yeah, you would advise on the merch, but do it at the right time. Nah, yeah,
Definitely, definitely.
I got you on that. And so let's say for example, right? Now let's take out the music part. Let's say somebody, there's a kid watching this right now that said, I've seen your clothing everywhere. I've seen people like when I go out, like people and or I've wear your clothing before, like yo, that thing hit. How how do I become like a designer like Danje or clothing designer like Danje?
A lot of trials and tribulations. Just it's just honestly, bro. It's like I don't like. I feel like everything I've gone through in my life has led me up right until this moment. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, but as far as like the whole design and stuff, bro, honestly, like somebody was asking me that the other day. They was like how should I come up with a logo or like what should my first design be? Honestly, you should be inspired by the things that you like and that you're into, right? So like for example, when I first there was a one point when like when I first got into Virgil Abloh, I was like, I don't you know how he do this thing where he puts like the words in parentheses and stuff.
I see
So
what
like
you're doing.
he'll like desk and then he'll put the parentheses and stuff like that. So at one point I was doing that. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? I was doing that. Or like a better example is these tags right here, right?
okay.
Like you don't see that many brands that put like solid labels on their clothes, except for high fashion brands like Prada.
Yeah.
You see Prada has that like that metal triangle that they put on almost everything, or that red tag that they put almost on everything. So this is where I got the inspiration from that. And now, like I'm damn near like everything I'm getting made ever since I started doing that, I'm starting to put that on there
And it
because
look
like
great.
that's you feel me? So that's where it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? You want to draw inspiration from the people that you like, but you don't want to copy them. You don't want to do the exact same thing as them. Like I didn't see niggas that tell me like, yo, your stuff is hard. Like people from my area tell me,
Yeah.
yo, your stuff is hard. They like my stuff, and then like you start your clothing line, and you're making exactly what I made.
Yeah. It won't work.
You're not really you're not you know what I'm saying. It's like then it's like it seems like you just copying. You just kind of dick riding because it's like you're not putting the work in. You're not inspired. You're just copying. There's a big difference, and I feel like people have a problem figuring out the difference between inspiration and copying. It's very visible when you see somebody copying.
Yeah,
And you feel me? And that's cool. Like again, like that's one of those things. Like as you get bigger and you progress in your career, there's certain stuff that you know not to give your energy to. So like
for sure.
I could say that I've inspired a lot of people, a lot of brands. In I don't know if I want to say just Miami, but I'll say like South Florida-ish. You know what I'm saying? I've inspired a lot of brands, you know what I'm saying? But like that's not me to say like I need recognition, of course, because there's sometimes like you might see something and it's like you might sometimes like I sometimes I've seen like somebody's design and I know I've never heard of them. And their stuff looks like mine, or I know I've never really stumbled upon them and they've never seen me.
Yeah,
So it's like sometimes you might catch like yourself making a design that's similar to somebody. It's just that y'all just so happen to have the same creative idea and process. But a lot of times it's just niggas that's just being lazy and then they're coming in the game of fashion designer or having a brand for the wrong reasons, or not just the wrong reason, but like a different reason. Like maybe you're not doing a brand because you're passionate about fashion. Maybe you just it's bread for you. Like you if you could make bread, you put a free design, you find something that's trending, you make a design, you sell it. That's quick bread. That's cool.
yeah,
But a person like me, and that's another reason why I feel like it's taking me a lot longer for me to like blow up is because I'm not following trends. Like I'm not doing what people usually do. Like I'm trying to stick to me and I'm trying to stick to what I know, what I'm good at, what I've been doing. And I want to blow off of that. Like I want to look back and I want to look back on this interview and see like all of the shit that I was talking. I want to see all that come to fruition because it's like I could have been again, like I was telling you about the fonts and stuff. Like I could have
yeah.
been made a whole bunch of designs that they're so generic and so inorganic and unoriginal that I post it and people are more drawn to things that they're familiar with. That also goes into the whole staying dangerous stuff because if you're comfortable, if you see something 20 times a day, at the end of eventually, like all right, say you see a certain type of font or logo, and you see it 10 times a day in a different way, you're gonna start seeing it so often, you're gonna be like, okay, this is what I need right now because you're seeing it so often right now.
Right.
But me, the effect I want to have on people is I want them to see something, they look at it, they're like, damn, this is different. I need that. They see it and they're like, damn, I know this different. Like nobody got this, or if somebody got this, they just gotta know, like they gotta be on point type stuff. That's
Yeah.
where I'm trying to be at with it.
Wow, man. Well, I just love how passionate you are about clothing. Like it seems like this is you give it you really passionate about this. Like I like
Nah,
that.
for real.
And I think that's what people need to make it in anything. If you don't have that passion, because in anything, I feel like people gonna fail. Like starting this podcast, I felt so many times, bro. Like I'm like, bro, I probably wouldn't start
Definitely.
it. But
You gotta take
the,
L's.
exactly, but the fact that you are passionate about what you're doing, it keep you going and it give you that drive to just keep going and eventually figure out the right sauce, like and it take off.
Type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, you basically, honestly, bro, they say that like you basically got to be crazy to start a business because it's like you really starting with like a lot of times you starting a business with no knowledge of what you're getting into. You got no idea what you're doing. You literally just for you to fail continuously, for you to keep going, that's insane. A lot of people are afraid to do that. You get what I'm saying? So that goes into, you know what I'm saying, staying dangerous. Like I don't want like I want to make a name for myself. Like I know what it takes. Like I know what risks I have to take. I know what I'm ready and not ready for. Like you really have to be crazy to really be passionate about something because like sometimes you might not see progress for months, for years. Like the average person might not want to keep going if they don't see progress or they don't see like say they start in business 1 month or in 2 months, they see they're not making the money that they put it or invested in and they just quit. You're not gonna get nowhere doing that because it's like it's if you know you really know like it's all a process. It's just trial and error. It's failing and success. That's the whole point of the business. Like they tell you that the majority of businesses they don't start seeing profit till 7 years into the business is started. Are you gonna work? There's not that many people that's willing to wait 7 years for them to see progress on something like you feel me? Like you go to school, like you can go to school and you go to school in 4 years, but you know every year you have to do these things to get to the next year.
Yeah.
Imagine 7 years go by, you're not doing nothing, you're not getting nothing. But that seventh year, January 1st, on that 7th year,
Mm-hmm.
everything just gonna fall into place.
Yep.
And you up now. Most people are not gonna think that. Most people are not looking towards that. So that's what all I'm doing. Like that's where like the whole like I said, like that's why I feel like like I said, you gotta be crazy kind of because it's like that's all I'm waiting on. Like that's the only thing that's keeping me going. Knowing that I don't have a backup plan, I don't have a plan B. Like I'm just going off of like my intuition and knowing what my ability is, and knowing that if I do keep going and I keep working as hard as I do, and I just keep on adding to what I'm doing every day, even if it's one day like I'm tired or I don't want to work, as long as I keep adding to what I'm doing, I'm never gonna not move up in the world because I'm adding every day. I'm always doing something that's gonna push my brand and get it into the next person's face.
Yeah. Oh man. Hey, it will get there because as passionate as you are, bro, you're gonna figure it out somewhere, somehow. So
Definitely.
I'm starting a clothing line tomorrow, right? What do I need? What's like some key ingredient I need to start that?
Well, I say like if you start a clothing line, like all right, like real simply put, you need a logo. You need a logo. You need a design, like one design, like there's one thing to start off with. Even if it's your logo, you could do either your logo or actual design. So you need a logo, you need a design, and you need to get the resource. Like I feel like if you were to start a clothing brand, like before you even well no, after you've decided on a name and on a logo, you have to just start like doing your research and weighing out your options as far as to how you want your clothes made, what kind of clothes you want made, because all of that is important. Like but I say like if it's simply put, like you could just really like again get a logo, get a design, and find a print shop, and there you started your brand. Like a print shop gonna charge you what $15 for 12 shirts. You know what I'm saying? You get 12 shirts, you sell each shirt for 25 or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You take the money that you made plus your profits, you reinvest it. You do the same thing over and over again until you build up a certain, then you gotta start till you build up a certain amount of clientele and fan base. And then you gotta start, doing in marketing, you gotta start doing photo shoots. You get what I'm saying? You gotta start people then it's like if you're doing it right, people are gonna wanna people from like outside of the states, they're gonna shop with you. So man, that's where like you gotta get a website, you gotta have business bank accounts and stuff like that. But like if I was telling somebody, if I was telling 18-year-old Danje game, I would honestly tell him, bro, for get your credit up. That's what I was gonna say, bro. And that's something I'm getting into now. Like financial freedom is everything, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
again, like I just said, like you a lot of businesses don't see profit till 7 years. Like
Yeah.
how do you keep a business up when you're not seeing profits?
Yeah, it gotta
You know what I'm
be
saying?
coming
You
from
have to
somewhere.
find funding. Exactly. You gotta get funding, you gotta get investments. And that's where like business credit comes in. And that's where like grants come in. Like again, like this is stuff that I'd say like I've been like a year into learning type stuff. If I had known about business credit and loans and how like if you build a relationship with a bank, the bank is gonna loan you money that you could just pay back. And if you're making money off your business, you just pay back easily. If I knew all of that when I first started out, bro, I would have been so much further because now it's like a lot of what I've been doing is basically reinvesting. So like people will see me make money. Like for example, I made a good amount of money in my pop-up, right? Like a good amount of money. But when you see that, it's like, okay, you see, okay, this what he made, right? Say I made 10 racks. You see I made 10 racks.
Yeah.
You don't see the 5 racks I spent
Mm-hmm.
to make to make everything happen. So the 5 racks I spent on the clothes, all the stuff for the event, you don't see that. So that's already
Yeah.
5 racks out. This is my only source of income. So then you're not seeing that I gotta pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the money that you're making, it goes down very substantially if you after you take off the cost of production, expenses and all of that, it goes down very substantially. So it's like you have to be ready for shit like that. Literally.
So having a logo, having 12 to
A
24
design.
shirt, a design,
Yeah.
and figuring out the clothes you want to be made, how do you want it to look. But the most important I got from you was the credit part. I didn't even think you was thinking like,
I'm telling you.
not that you wasn't thinking like that. I was not even thinking about that for a clothing brand, like for an upcoming person that want to start a clothing brand. If you want to start a clothing brand, all you have to do is start that clothing brand and then build a relationship with the banks to the work that you made. Eventually
Exactly.
you'll be able to get some funding, then be able to scale your business and be able to,
Yeah.
like, bro, that you dropping game, bro, you
Yeah,
dropping game.
because again, like this is something that like I didn't learn, like I didn't know about this. So like so if anything, like what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying that the whole thing about credit is because like I wouldn't want anybody starting a clothing brand to start where I started at. Like I started at the bottom of the bottom, bro. I used to print t-shirts out of I used to print t-shirt designs off a printer. I used to iron them on. For years, I used to iron stuff on, bro. Like
Wow.
literally take the iron, the same iron you used to iron your shirmies
Yeah.
on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
That's the iron, bro. And I made hundreds of pieces using an iron. I
Wow.
bought a heat press. I bought a heat press like I think a few months ago. A
You
few
just
months
got a
ago.
heat
So
press.
just not getting a heat press. And that's really
So
because
you
like
got your brand out there like that without a heat press. But so question,
without a
so how
heat
are
press,
you getting
bro.
your design done without a heat press? You was ironing them on?
Iron, bro. Iron.
What?
Yo, come fit right on this table. You see this lab beyond, bro. Just iron everything. That's the dedication. But it's like again, it's like because for me, I'm the kind of person like if a system works for me, I'm not gonna change it until I have to, right? So ironing, like it was a hassle, it was a lot of work, but it worked for me. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So like I could have spent the money, I could have spent some of the money I made on buying a heat press, but I wasn't too worried about that because like again, I didn't have that big of a volume. Like again, people may think like because they see a lot of people wearing my stuff, like I make a lot of sales, but that's you gotta think about it. It's over a span of months and years. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm getting 5 to 10 sales every day. Like 5 to 10 sales a day is a good day for me right now. You get what I'm saying? And then that's like me singing in the humblest way. So it's like that's why that go back to me like saying the whole thing about the credit because again, I don't want anybody to start where I started at. Like I started out basically like so. All right, for example, like when people say they want to start, they want to do something, they always be like, "I want to wait till I got this. I want to wait till I got that."
Yeah.
I knew from an early stage, I knew like if I had that mindset, I wasn't gonna get nowhere. So I worked with what I had. So like, I used to work at a print shop. I used to get my prints from there. When I stopped working at that print shop and I started literally focusing solely on myself, I bought a machine. I bought a smaller version, like a cheap version of the machine that my boss had. I got a laptop and then I started cutting stuff. I didn't have enough money for a heat press yet, so I just ironed everything on, and that worked for me for years. Then it
I
got to a point.
tried to start a clothing brand like way back in the day. And I I had to get a heat press and all that stuff. But just the dedication to, because me, I didn't want to, I didn't want to start the brand until I had got an heat press. Then when I got the heat press, I didn't even want to start the brand no more. I just was like,
You
fuck
wanted to wait till you had
it.
other shit. You
That's
see,
what I'm saying,
that's gonna
right?
stop you. That's gonna stop you, bro. So it's like my whole point of this whole business credit thing is like you don't want to start off like I just want people to have a head start, right? So like I didn't have any money coming into the business. Imagine you have access to $10,000 for you to start your business.
Yeah.
That's money for so if we're talking about a clothing brand, you have $10,000. You could for $10,000 you could get your website made. You could buy your LLC. Well, so anyways, to have business credit and all of that, you need an LLC and you need an
LLC.
EIN number.
Yeah.
So like, but just even that with 10 racks, right? You could buy inventory. You could buy, and when I mean inventory, you can have inventory for that could last you for a year. Like what you can do is again, and this is all like with smart thinking. So like if you plan, say you drop if you just starting out your brand, right, you could drop like two things or one thing at a time per season. There's like three most main important seasons during the year: spring, summer, and winter. Well, no, four. I say spring, summer, fall, and winter. So you got 4 different drops, right? You design something for all 4 drops. You design like a windbreaker for spring for the rain. You design a bathing suit for the summer. You
Yeah,
design a sweater for fall. You design a bubble coat for winter. You plan 3 drops, right? You
yeah,
get those 3 drops made. You spend the money on that beforehand. Then you spend some of the money on marketing. You spend some of your money marketing. You spend it on the website. You know what I'm saying? And then really that's all you need. Like, and just off of that, bro, you done started your brand. And you're gonna be able to branch out. Then you can start adding different things. Like you start sending stuff to influencers and shit like
yeah.
that. Going to pop ups because you got to buy tables for pop ups and stuff. Like all of that stuff. Like imagine you had money to start. Like people will be way better off if there was a fund for like small businesses. Like you start a small business, they give you 10 bands or 5 bands or even a band. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People will be so much better off, but you can't. Like they don't have that. So
Mm,
like my goal, one of my goals is to have that knowledge for people. Like so right now I'm learning all this stuff about business credit and all of that. I want to do this. I'm doing this so I can teach my brother. Like I live with other people in this house, so it's like I want to teach my little brother, my little sister. I want to teach my mom, my dad, my other siblings. Then imagine all of us have access to 10. Again, like I'm using 10 bands. It could be any amount of money, but like imagine 10 people have access to 10 bands.
yeah,
That's 100 racks.
for sure.
You know how much you can invest with 100 racks?
A lot.
You know what I'm saying? You can invest in real estate. You can invest in other stuff. You can invest in stocks. So it's like again, like at the end of the day, you have to have the mindset that although like if you're coming into a brand like knowing like okay, I love clothes, so this is gonna be my passion, you also have to understand that it's a business. You have to make money for it to keep going. You have to be building something for it to keep going. So it's like that's the type of shit like I'm trying to learn. And I've been trying to I wish I had learned that. So like yeah, honestly, bro, if I was to start a business, honestly, you get an LLC, get an EIN, get a business line of credit. You know what I'm saying? And then like if you really want to start off small, save 5 Bs, bro. You save 5 Bs, you get you some shirts made, and you start off like I said, you get a logo, you get a design, you get a T-shirt, make you a page, you
Hmm.
promote it, you sell it, and reinvest every single dollar you make. You just start flipping it, and it's like that for and it's like that with everything. Like any business model, honestly, bro, it's literally save, invest until you start reaching a profit. Until you have enough inventory for it to sell itself. Until your business sells itself, you're really just reinvesting.
Wow.
That's all it is.
Bro, I got more game than I is expecting today, bro. I got way more than I was
That's
expecting
that's
today.
it, bro.
Wow. Um, so question. So yeah, my question, you clothing and music work together, right? What's like one song when you listen to you like to listen to when you like working or you in that creative process?
Damn. Let me look. I'm about to look
Or
right
it can be
now.
your artist. It can be like your favorite artist.
I'll say this much, okay, which is Major Nine, right? You know who Major Nine is, right?
Yeah, I do.
So Major Nine, he's probably been one of my favorite artists. Man, it's just like beginning of middle school, beginning of high school. I'll say freshman year, right? I've been out of high school since for 5 years now. So I've been a fan of his music for almost 10 years.
Wow.
Like now, like I listen to him all the time. So like, and that goes into like, so like I've listened to him. I listen to him for like when I work, I listen to him when I drive. And like the reason I listen to him is because again, like he's from Miami, so he kind of like the music he's making emulates the Miami lifestyle in so many ways. So like even when he's talking about like we're talking about females and stuff, like he be saying real shit, you know what I'm
No,
saying? So like
things
it's
that
so
really happen in
relatable.
Miami.
You know what I'm saying? It's so relatable that inspires you and that drives you. So like even him, like mind you, I've had this brand for 5 years. I've been listening to this man for 10. I'm just now locking in with him. Like
Mm.
he's wearing my stuff type stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
So like that's so amazing to see because it's like, bro, it's like I be trying so hard not to brag about it, But like I look, he be Star Trek. Like even sometimes now, like I see him. Like sometimes I'll pull up to the spot, and it's like he's there. And it's like you don't wanna start singing his music or nothing. But it's like, damn, bro, this is like somebody like he's really like a local superstar type shit, bro. Like,
Facts.
I mean, he's wearing my stuff, and it's like he's the one that I listen to when I'm working, literally. So like all of that shit comes full circle, bro, for real.
Hey man, hey, you gave me that feeling too the other day when I met you at the 420 thing. I kind of felt
Yeah,
like I met like one of my idols type stuff because I always seen your clothing
appreciate that,
around.
bro.
I was like, yo, like this is kid right there, bro. I swear, bro, you one of them, bro. You doing it. The fact that you getting it
Appreciate
out
that, my
there, and
boy.
it's just the fact that it's just the start for you. And I see your clothing so much everywhere. Imagine in the next 5 years, and you already understanding like it's about the next 5 years. It's not about really about
Type
now.
shit.
It's so, bro. We got that, bro. I have one more question. Yeah. You said it was so. What I was about to say is I had that. Well, I had that. I said when I saw Major Nine, I didn't even want to approach him too, because I've seen him so many
You know what I'm
times.
saying? It's like damn. That's another thing. It's like you see their work so much, right? But you don't see the person. So it's like we see the person. It's like damn. It's like not to call it, not to say a god or anything, but it's like you're seeing. I don't know how to explain it, bro, but
You
it's
seen the
different, bro.
artist, you seen the
You know
artist
what I'm
behind the
saying?
whole the work,
Living
and
legend type shit, literally type
yeah.
shit. Yeah,
I saw him and I was like, I don't even know what to say. I didn't even approach. I just stayed there. I
trust me,
stayed
I
in my
feel
lane.
that.
I was just happy to like to be in the room. I think that was like my second time seeing him. I saw him at a show. I never met him or anything like that. But it just
Yeah,
seeing him, bro. Oh man. Hey. So, bro, any advice or any last word you wanna give to before we leave out of here?
yeah. I'll say, like I said, bro. If you're really trying to get into any, not even just clothing lines, but just business in general, bro. Learn about the business side, learn about credit, learn about you, but like learn about what you can do with your LLC. Like I had an LLC, like I got a second LLC now, but like I had an LLC before, and I like it's like you see people get an LLC and they're posting, they'll be like, I got my LLC, but like you got an LLC now what? You like
Yeah.
you gotta know what you can do with it. Like the reason of having an LLC is because you can do stuff with it. There's certain shit that you can do with LLC that you can't do without it. So I would say like for sure, like learn about business credit, learn about your business LLC, really learn about like how to run and organize business and stuff. And ultimately like just be true to yourself, be true to your passion, you know, don't half-ass what you're doing. Don't try to copy nobody. Don't try to take no shortcuts. Really take the time out to learn your craft. And again, that doesn't go only for fashion, but it goes for anything. Just be true to yourself. Like stay Danje for real. Because at
Facts.
the end of the day, like you could die tomorrow, bro. Like, or yeah, you can lose it all tomorrow. You don't wanna wake up tomorrow or tomorrow come and you be like, damn, why I didn't do this yesterday? Or like, damn, I could have did this yesterday. They could have put me in this situation. You know what I'm saying? There's no time for regret. You gotta live in the present and think into the future.
Oh, wow. Hey, I said it was last question. I got one last question. The tattoos, bro. You got your brand tattooed everywhere. You got your brand on your
Yeah,
neck, and where else?
yeah,
You got
yeah,
it's on
yeah.
your hand too, right?
It's my whole body, bro. My whole body, bro.
What's the
Literally,
reason behind that?
literally. Because it's like again, like I would say, like it's all coming full circle. Like I remember I was a kid, I wanted tattoos. Like I used to see like and this was like when I was in France, so it's like I don't know how France looks now, but like back then I didn't see that many people with tattoos. Like all I saw was kids my age, older men like my dad's age. I used to be in church a lot, so like I didn't see tattoos, but like when my first time seeing somebody with tattoo, I knew I wanted tattoos. So it's like when I started getting tatted, like my first tattoo was like a small dollar sign, but I'm like, yo, this is bullshit. Like you know you Haitian, so it's like that don't work. But like I don't know, some just told me to just get them. and I started getting them, and I kept getting them. Like one of my first big tattoos was this oak logo right here. Like my mom hated it. My mom hated it. Like, but I just kept getting them, and then I just got like I could tell you a story about each of my tattoos, but I'll say this much: like I feel like I would call myself like a living piece of art, like a walking piece of art. Like it doesn't matter if like today if I decide not to wear oak, right? Say I decide to wear all Walmart clothes,
Mm-hmm.
I'll still have my shit on because I literally have this shit tatted on my back, bro. I got this shit tatted on my neck. I got this shit tatted on my body. Like, bro, all my design, everything you see here is designed by me. Literally, all my tattoos are being designed by me. So
So
it's like
you designed them, like you literally
I didn't
designed
do
them.
them on myself, but I drew
You
them out and
draw them.
designed them. Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow. You really
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
creative, bro. You're really a
Yeah,
creative.
appreciate that,
You
bro.
really a creative. Being able to draw or anything like that. That's one thing I remember about being in Haiti. Like it was, I always used to hang with the creatives, right? Why? Because I always knew I couldn't do what they did, and I I look up to that. I always appreciate that because I know everybody is unique on their own way, and the fact that somebody mastered their craft and to go that far, bro, I respect that, bro. Like I respect that.
Appreciate that, my boy. Appreciate that.
Hey, for sure, man. And yo, this was the Day Winners podcast, man. We have my boy Danje in the building, man.
Yes,
Yo,
sir. Yes,
this
sir.
this was legendary, man. And I hope sometime in the future, 5 years from now, we might get another one and just talk
Yeah,
about
most
like,
def, most def,
yay,
bro.
yay, just talk about like, yo,
Yeah,
five
bro.
years from now, and we can clip it too, to be like, yo,
We
this is what
should.
he talked about, and then this is where he at now. And yeah, bro, let's get it.
Appreciate you for having me, bro, for
Hey,
sure.
bro, I appreciate you for coming on, bro. Thank you.
Most definitely, bro.
Thank
Holla
you.
at me, all right?
For sure, I got you.
Yo, yo.
Yo.